Alright, hey guys, I'm bringing you a video, and today we're going to be talking about, that's going to be my intro for today. We're going to talk about what constitutes a $60 game, and now that it's the fall gaming season, a lot of big titles and a lot of anticipated titles, like the most anticipated Call of Duty Black Ops 3, will be releasing, and I really want to talk about what makes a $60 game that premium, because $60 is 40 short of 100, and that's a lot of money. But I'm also here with my friend Tyler. So Tyler, say hi to the people. Hi! And we're just going to be talking about what constitutes a $60 game. So Tyler, do you want to start?
You can. Right.
Alright, so the first thing that I would expect out of a $60 game, and like I said, $60 is a lot of money, especially for a PC gamer, because we are pretty cheap for the most part, but a standard that is good to want, and that should be a standard, is minimum to no bugs in a functioning game without a day one patch. Now, I see a lot of people just gloss over this because, like I said, it's a standard in today's video game industry, but I feel like it shouldn't be a standard. Games should come out of the gate working.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think a good game that had a really big day one patch was probably Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, which had a day one patch bigger than the actual game. That was cool. $60.
I forget. How big was the
7
patch?
gigs. The main game was 5.
It's amazing though how much better the old Pro Skaters in American Wasteland was, and then then Activision was like, "Hey, you're gonna make another game for us," and he's like, "No, I'm not, dude.
You see, our license is running out, so let's fuck it up. Just ruin it."
I mean, you heard about it, right? All right, and then another thing about $60 games is the lack of online, which is promised. And two really big examples now are GTA 5 and MGS 5. Now, MGS 5 is its own separate game from Metal Gear Online, but you get when you just buy Metal Gear Solid 5. You guys know how I feel about the game. If you don't, click on the link right here. Yep, put in the plug right here. And then GTA 5 also straight up did not have its online working day one. So I mean, I don't know if does that bother you, Tyler?
I mean, in games like GTA 5, I don't like the multiplayer very much at all. I stick to single player, but I really wanted to try, the multiplayer back when that was the thing, October 2013, but it was all fucked up.
Yeah, I heard it was broken. And then my my just glorious experience with GTA 5. Thanks, buddy.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. We had to stop from going into the nom tunnels. The next thing I wanted to talk about were the DLC and the season passes that aren't that I don't want season passes and DLCs to be advertised with the base game.
Well, I know Bethesda did that, but they're not repeat offenders. I feel like some developers and publishers, I feel like it's okay if they do a season pass.
I feel like it's okay, especially for companies like Bethesda, where they have this standard of giving you a game with a shit ton of content, like their most recent games, which are Fallout and Skyrim, I think. Am I right?
I don't think Skyrim had a season pass. I think this is the first time Bethesda's doing it. But yeah, the DLC for Skyrim was alright. And for both Fallout games before, it was pretty good.
And I think the same thing falls in line with standalone expansions, and I think they fall under this whole DLC phase, but I'm really starting to... actually, no, I really don't know how to feel about DLCs and season passes. I mean, it's bullshit. It's like going to the store, using Learn-C's examples, like going to the store and buying a soda, and then the clerk just takes a sip of your soda before you leave. It's like the fuck.
Yeah, companies like EA love doing their season pass stuff, and $50 for kind of alright content. Yeah, the main game doesn't even work.
But it's different when companies like Bethesda do it, like I said, which they've established that they're going to put a lot of time, effort, blood, and sweat into their game. And it's okay for them to do that because it's their first time. If they keep on doing it in the future, and if the game content takes a hit like Destiny did, then it'll be a bad thing. But then again, I don't think it's fair to compare Destiny to Fallout because, because Destiny's just a far superior title.
Fallout, I understand Bethesda. Well, you can buy the season pass now on Steam and maybe from some retailers. I understand they wanted to announce it now just so people were aware, that later down the line, there's going to be DLC, and if you want all the DLC before it actually comes out, you can pre-order with the season pass. But I feel like they kind of should have waited until the first DLC was about to come out to announce, hey, we have a season pass if you want it.
Yeah. And I don't want them to turn into a company like Rocksteady, where it seems like they took a lot of influence, but then again, Bethesda publishes their own games, and they enforce their own practices. But you have companies like Rocksteady who made very minimal DLC, and then they had the one expansion, Harley Quinn's. It also had challenge maps, but it also had Harley Quinn's Revenge, which I thought was good, but it was kind of, if you look at it now and compare it to Arkham Knight, it seemed to be Warner Brothers' first step of having this company, which is renowned for making very good Batman games. Just then, I think Rocksteady also made another game. But the point I'm trying to make is that I just don't want this company, Bethesda, to ease into this DLC craze, and I want them to say, like CD Projekt Red, to make good content-filled games day one. And it's sad that we have to talk about that. So
I also think CD Projekt Red are doing a pretty good job too, because I think their expansion pass is like $25, and it's for like the two big story expansions, which the first one's coming out in a few days. That'll add another 10 hours of story, and then the one coming out I think early next year is going to add another 20 hours.
Yeah, but you see, like, that DLC is worth it. It's like let's look at the Batman Arkham Knight DLC, the Harley Quinn DLC. It's a mission that can take you 5 or 10 minutes, and how much is it? Like $5?
I don't know. You can get on G2A.
I mean, I know you can pick it up on G2A for for 97 cents actually, or 76. It's something stupid. But anyways, transitioning onto the topic of paying for things, something that's more and more relevant in the gaming industry now are microtransactions. Good examples are in Rise of the Tomb Raider and in Destiny and stuff like this. Microtransactions in $60 games, they should be optional, but they shouldn't be the core focus. I like it. It's like in Battlelog. You can pay for guns, unlocks, and equipments, but that's only for people. Like, the game will let you unlock all this stuff if you want to play the game and if you enjoy it that much, if you somehow enjoy Battlefield 4. However, for people like Solid Rev, who made the claim like he doesn't feel like playing through that much of the game, and why not just buy the stuff for $2.50 or $5? So I guess if you look at it from that point, or from that perspective, EA is just like, hey, we know you don't have that much time, so here you go. If you want to give us some money, we can give you everything. And that, I don't know how that really upsets the flow of the community, but the flow of the progression in the game.
I think stuff like that is great for people who don't have time to play video games a lot. But sometimes there's people who are just straight up lazy and would rather get the best of the best stuff right out of the gate. That's what pisses me off.
Oh, but I mean, it's the next gen DLC, man. Anyways, next gen, baby. So $60, like I said, it's a lot, and I feel like $60 is a premium. Yeah. Like, you can ask Tyler, any of my friends, I'm down to wait for a game to drop to $30, but preferably like $5 or $10, $15. Like, to this day, waiting on Shadow of Mordor, it's $12. Still waiting for it to go down to $5. or Dying Light. But then again, I played Dying Light because Steam Share and stuff like that. But I think that $60 is a premium, and you should expect the bare minimum of everything that we talked about and a few other topics we're going to touch on. But games that I would buy for $60 would obviously be CD Projekt Red, Rockstar, Bethesda, Atlas at times, Bandai Namco sometimes, and old Rocksteady games like Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. Then again, that's not saying that Arkham Knight doesn't have much content, because it feels like an open world, just standard Batman game, but it also... well, I already made a video about that, so I mean, you think $60 is a lot?
That is a lot. And another game that really takes advantage, going back to the microtransactions, Evolve. That was, I think, a $60 game that you needed to pay maybe another $50 or $60 for like, actual content.
I mean, there was an additional. I mean, there's also. Speaking of DLC, there's also Destiny, which doesn't need to go really said. But no, you heard that game had like over $310 worth of like DLC or like microtransactions and all that, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah, and it's just really frustrating to see these unfinished games being released for $60, you know? $60. It's like, that's a lot of money. And I understand that if you're a company like DICE and you release a Battlefield 5 and then you're going to have the Battlefield 5 premium version, you're spending... Let's look at this from a console perspective. So, you will already have paid $60 for online. Another 60 or 50 for 50 for online, another 60 for the game, and another 60 for the for the
season pass.
For the season pass. and then if you factor in people who okay, let's just take $180 as the base price for all that. So say I go to Target, I go and buy a new PS4 for $350. 180, 350, what is that, like 430? $430, 440, around there. It's the point I'm trying to make is it's taking so much now to get the full version of a game how it was meant to be played that is just ridiculous. Like, why can't games be more like Fallout, The Witcher, GTA 5, as much as I hate to say that.
The problem is people are okay with taking it in the ass from developers and spending $60 for this unfinished game, Destiny. Sure.
That's all. I was talking to Lawrence about it, and he brought up a really good point, which was casuals, and casuals do not look at the gaming industry the way that we see it, as kind of this huge money hoarding company now, and it's being even more and more apparent with DLC, season passes, microtransactions, standalone expansions. But then again, standalone expansions can be done very well, like Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Boom. And I mean, I guess that's about it, other than replay value. And do you want to talk about replay value?
Well, some games can do replay value really well, which, you know, makes me want to be able to give the developer more money. Like games like Fallout. I've probably played Fallout 3 New Vegas so many fucking times, and I'm doing a new game. New Game Plus is another thing that also adds to the experience of a game, because it's playing through the game a second time, making it much more difficult. And The Witcher 3, that's what I'm doing. And I mean, a game doesn't necessarily need to be packed full of content, but if it has replay value, like maybe something like Wolfenstein as well, hey.
Replay value is one of those. I feel like it's kind of like having a big twist at the end of a movie. Either it can go really well, or it can just go so bad and be like, oh my god, I don't want to play this.
It's like the people who went, like, back when Titanic came out. There's people who went back to the theater like another 1 or 2 times after they've already seen the movie.
Yeah, and it's just like how I will go and rewatch the same like anime, the same movies. I played through Kingdom Hearts 2 probably one too many times, and I enjoy it every time. And also, especially with the story-driven games that have a lot of content and a very rich world to go and explore. Let's take BioShock, for example. BioShock 1. You play BioShock 1, right? So you play it the first time in a very linear fashion. You do everything that the world tells you to do, and you go and you get the story, and that's good. But on the second playthrough, your second time through, you really explore the world, and you find little secrets, Easter eggs. It's just little things like that are becoming harder and harder to find. And that's like somebody... But also, you can play the game wrong. Like, if you play The Witcher 3, from what I heard from you, if you play it in a very linear fashion...
In The Witcher 3, there's often missions that you need to be leveled up for to even do them. So, like, you know, you have to go off and do a Witcher contract or some side stuff for some old lady. Like, go find her fucking frying pan or something.
So the game is subtly telling you to, hey, go do this, because it's going to help you in the future. And you're welcome, because we're going to actually add good content. And from what you said also, the side missions are pretty different every time, and they have good diversity. Compared to another game like MGS5, which, go rescue this animal, go rescue this guy, bring him back to my other base. Oh, he's the gunsmith, or destroy or take a tank. Like 5 different missions. It's like fucking Destiny has more content in the game.
I think Easter eggs and achievements can also add to like the value of a game as well. Because there's a lot of people who like to go through games hunting for Easter eggs and going for achievements. Like I used to be sort of an achievement hunter, and I would...
You're still an achievement hunter.
But like, you know, it was nice to go explore and pick up on references, like, you know, the references to Mad Max within Fallout with, you know, a boy and his dog and stuff like that. Like, that's cool stuff. I think it makes the game better.
It's just, yeah, but, you know, games are not made the way they used to, and it really makes me kind of wish we were back in, like, '04, like, '03, '05, back when games, like, what you had was that. Like, there were no patches, no online, no day one. If there was like online game modes. Also, a lot of people don't realize is that when you add online in a great game that I know that you haven't played, but I'm going to use it as an example, Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 1, that game was completely broken, but it was so much fun to just rage at your friends. But because it didn't have it online, there wasn't any necessity to balance the game. You can make it as broken as you want. But when you add online, you're going to need to be constantly updating it, looking for cheats, exploits, what's the new broken spot. You need to balance out characters. And the ramifications of including it online is so difficult. And that's ultimately why another online that failed, that Tyler knows that I love, and I'm not talking about Warfighter for once. I'm talking about Batman Arkham Origins. That should not have existed. Fact. So, I think that pretty much gets the point across $60 games. Is there anything else that you wanted to include, Mr. Tyler?
Ride to Hell 2 confirmed. That is a game that would be $60 and I'd pay for that.
Yeah, I'm waiting for a Warfighter 2, a War Harder, or Warrior Fighter. Warrior Fighter! So, anyways, that pretty much wraps up this video. Go check out Tyler over at his channel, Tyler's Insanity. I'll leave a chant. I'm going to leave a link in the description. And be sure to follow me on Twitter, Twitch. Follow him on Twitch. Go give him some love. And that's about it. Anything else?
No. I wish Ride to Hell Route 666 wasn't canceled, but...
And this is where I cut off the commentary.